everyone, it's Katie from Paradise Falls family. In this video we'll be continuing our Thailand series and giving an overview of our bamboo rafting excursion, including a visit to the Khao Lak Turtle Sanctuary. We enjoyed a fantastic afternoon and we'll talk through how we picked the excursion, what it involved and our thoughts. One of the fun things you can do in Thailand, and in particular the Khao Lak area, is to go bamboo rafting. Basically, get out onto the river or a lake on a basic bamboo raft to enjoy the scenery and hopefully spot some wildlife. Khao Lak is surrounded by jungle and waterways, so there's loads of opportunities to enjoy it here, and it was high on our list for things we wanted to try on our trip. Another similar option in Khao Lak is a little Amazon excursion where you can go out on canoes on the smaller mangrove waterways in the jungle. This looks really fun and was also high on our list, but we decided as they seemed pretty similar we'd only do one of these excursions and opted for the bamboo rafting this time. There are so many different excursions available, both in Khao Lak or online using Viator or Get Your Guide. A lot of these involving bamboo rafting are combined with different experiences, for example with visits to elephant sanctuaries or as part of a trip to KhaoLak National Park. We actually just wanted a basic bamboo rafting experience but struggled to find this, and so ended up booking a trip which included a visit to the Khao Lak Turtle Sanctuary and to a waterfall, which sounded like fun extras. The excursion we booked was through Get Your Guide, and I've left a link in the description below. It was labelled as bamboo rafting, waterfalls and turtle conservation, and was with the tour provider Love Khao Lak Holiday, who we researched and TripAdvisored to make sure they were decent and reputable. The trip was £126 for the four of us for 3 hours, so we thought this was brilliant value. We'd actually scheduled 2 excursions that day, the first being our trip to the Khao Lak Elephant Sanctuary, which I covered in last week's video. This was due to end at midday, with our bamboo rafting excursion beginning at 2 p.m, so it would give us a few hours in between to cool off in the pool and grab some lunch. Our tour guide was in touch via the Get Your Guide app the day before to confirm the pickup details. It was booked as a group tour, but fortunately for us it ended up just being us on the excursion, which made it even better value for a private tour. Our guide picked us up at 2 p.m. from the hotel in a lovely car, which was very comfortable and clean. She spoke excellent English, was really friendly, and chatted away to us, telling us all about Khao Lak and what we'd be doing. First up was the rafting, and it was about a 20-minute drive south of Khao Lak to the site, which was at Komols Corner Bamboo Rafting. The first stop was a little cafe where we could change and put on sun cream and insect repellent, etc. You do get a bit of a wet bum and feet on the raft, so keep this in mind when deciding what to wear. We were able to leave our bags in the car, and then we hopped on a tuk-tuk to take us up to the river to start our trip. We were helped onto the rafts, which seat 2 plus your guide or boatman, who navigates the river using a bamboo pole. Then we sailed downriver for around 45 minutes in total. The water levels were very low, but we just about managed to get through. Our guide said a couple of weeks later it would have been too dry and they would have had to move to another location. February is dry season in this part of Thailand, so water levels are a consideration, so keep that in mind when booking. The trip downriver was lovely and peaceful, Just incredibly beautiful as you float along through the jungle, with massive trees on either side and overhanging the river. Our guide pointed out the wildlife as we went. We saw 3 snakes on the way sleeping in the trees above, a couple of big frogs and a spider the size of a dinner plate. Obviously, Thailand is home to a lot of different snakes, but our guide said the 2 types of snake most common here are the green snake and the mangrove snake, which is what we saw. They're banded black and yellow or orange. If you're a little nervous about the wildlife, there's nothing to worry about, as we never got close to anything and never felt at all worried at any point. There was a spot along the river with a deeper pool where our guide said we could swim, but we weren't in our swimming gear, so it's probably worth coming with full swimsuits just in case you want to do this. The river winds its way along through the jungle and works its way back to the cafe, which is where you disembark. There are some steps taking you up from the bank to the cafe. Watch out for the little pen with turtles and tortoises on the way. We had some time here to sit, have a snack in the cafe and get changed again. We were given some free bottles of water and fruit, and they also take your picture out on the river, so they come around asking if you want to buy the photo. It's in a nice frame and only costs 200 baht, which is less than £5, so we bought this as it makes a lovely souvenir. Then it was time to move on, and it was around a 10-minute drive from here to the Turtle Sanctuary. The sanctuary is actually on a military base as it's operated by the state, so our guide arranged access for us and clearly knew the people who run the sanctuary very well. So much so that we were given a mini tour around the site, and the kids were allowed to hold one of the baby turtles, which was a lovely experience for them. They were also allowed to feed the bigger turtles by hand, and they had an amazing time. The turtle sanctuary wasn't massively high on our list, but it turned into a bit of a hidden gem, and in one day the kids had fed both elephants and turtles, 2 of their favourite animals, so it was a really memorable day. The sanctuary itself was set up to help injured turtles, promote breeding and supporting hatching and raising baby turtles until they're able to be released into the wild. I believe they release them around the end of February each year, so if you're in the area you can go along and see this. We did something similar once at the Moon Palace Resort in Mexico, and it was a fantastic experience seeing all of the little baby turtles racing across the beach into the sea. The sanctuary is made up of a number of different pools of varying sizes, with the turtles ranging from tiny babies up to full-grown adults in the main pool. Our guide took us around, and it was great to see these beautiful animals up close and to see the kids enjoying interacting with them. The adult turtles in the main pool came right up close and took the leaves straight out of the kids' hands. We'd really recommend tying in a visit here. You probably don't need that long. We were here for around 30 minutes, but it was worth the visit. There's also a good souvenir shop on site, and then just outside the sanctuary, by the car park, there is also another tsunami memorial, the T215 boat, similar to the memorial in central Khao Lak, and the beachfront is also right there as well. From here, our last stop was to a waterfall. There are many waterfalls in the area, some of which are easily accessible, like this one that we went to, and some which require more of a hike through the jungle. We weren't up for a hike in the heat with the kids, so this stop was a handy way to see one of the waterfalls in the area. Again, it is dry season though, so a lot of these waterfalls are nearly dried up at this time of year. We went to the Pling waterfall opposite the Elephant Sanctuary Khao Lak, not the same as the KhaoLak Elephant Sanctuary, which was where we went. It was about a 10-minute drive from the turtle sanctuary, and our guide had free cans of soda for us on the way, which was a really nice touch. There was a very small parking lot, room for just a couple of cars, and then the waterfall was down some fairly steep and uneven steps. I think we ended up climbing over rocks a little bit, so it wasn't great if you have mobility issues. Fortunately though, this waterfall hadn't dried up, so it was nice to see and get some pictures. You couldn't swim at this one, so it was more of a case of a quick photo stop and then we moved on. And with that, we headed back to our hotel, around 15 minutes away, pretty much spot on 3 hours after our tour began. We had a wonderful time, it was an excellent trip and our tour guide was fantastic. We'd really recommend giving something like this a try, particularly the rafting and the turtle sanctuary, and we thought it was really good value. It was also pretty low effort, so very good for young families. So hopefully that provides a useful summary of our excursion and what you can expect from these activities. If there's anything at all we've missed or anything you would like to know, then please let us know in the comments below and we'll do our best to help. As always, if you found this video useful, please give it a like. Next week we'll be moving on to cover our next excursion, which was a trip to KhaoLak National Park, so make sure to subscribe to our channel to catch that. Thank you all so much for watching.